Hey, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled Single Women Are Convincing Wives to Leave Their Husbands. Let's get right into it.
What's your age?
32.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a divorce lawyer.
As a divorce lawyer, would you say that divorces are initiated most by men or by women?
Women, 90% of the time.
Why is that the case?
I think that they yap with their friends, and I think they get real frustrated where guys are like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And I think the women just get in their heads and they're like, all right, I'm done.
So it's the women who are sabotaging their own relationships?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of it is that they're getting with their girlfriends, they're angry, they just get frustrated, and they have a lot of people in their ears. And I think they just want to, when they're done, they're done.
But surely, as a woman, you shouldn't tolerate any and everything in a relationship.
Definitely not at all, but I feel like things build up really easily with people, and they're talking about it more, where you're like pissed off and you get kind of over it quickly.
But how long have you been a divorce attorney?
Probably like since 2016 I've been practicing, and then 2017 officially barred.
So being that you've been in the field for 8+ years, do you think that marriage is outdated now?
Outdated, but it's a more acceptable to get divorced, right? Because like we're seeing it a lot more. It's not taboo, so it's changed.
Do you think that sexless marriages can work?
No, and 100% every single time. I mostly work for men, so every single time they're in a consult with me, I'm always hearing, I haven't had sex in 10 years, I haven't had sex in 5 years, I haven't had sex in 15 years, and I'm like, here we go again. The sex talk every single time. So it's like you need to make sure you're doing it like 3 to 4. I would say like 3. 2. Sometimes you want to go like 2 times, 2 to 3, but it really should be like 4. 2 to 4 times is ideal.
So a lack of sex in these marriages is the most common theme that you're seeing when they end.
Yeah, because it's connected to more of that. It's not just physical. It's like, all right, well, if you're not into someone and you're disgusted by them and you're pissed off at them, you're not going to be having sex with them, right? Because you're going to be unattracted to them, you're going to be irritated, and you're not going to be into them. So you're not going to be banging them.
So why do you think people stay in these relationships for so long?
I think they stay in it just because it's comfortable and it's easy and it's really hard. This is a marriage.
It's comfortable. For who? If you're in a sexless marriage for 10 years, I'm going to let you know this for a fact, you are a beta male. Yeah. I wouldn't be in a sexless marriage for 2 days. Baby, you ain't giving me no ass. Divorce. Divorce. Yeah. But see, this is why it explains to me that divorce rate's really high because the majority of men that get married are betas, right? Imagine you're married to a woman that you would sacrifice a lot in your life for her to be disgusted with you and she despises you, therefore she don't want to give you no ass, and she expects you to tolerate that. Yeah, the only person that's going to tolerate that is a beta male. So I'm convinced now that when we look at the stats of marriages, we have to understand that the majority of men that are married are not masculine. They're not. In fact, a lot of them get married to appease a woman. See, if I were to get married, it would be to appease God. It wouldn't be to appease a woman. But a lot of these beta males, women are their God. That's why they say stuff like, what if God wasn't her? Like Common, when Common said that, I knew Common was beta. Straight up. What if God wasn't her? Anytime people talk about God being a her, they don't know anything about God. Because we always refer to God as he, him, his word. My father. We don't talk about God the mother. But this is what beta males would say to, again, appease a woman. They'll disobey God to appease women. And God is familiar with this because there's a lot of men that did this in the Bible. Disobeyed God to appease a woman. Women are not your God. And if you make them your God, they will punish you like if they were your God. Just saying.
Is a breakup on steroids. Like if you're gonna get a divorce, it's not just like I'm moving my shit out, bye-bye. It's like if there's kids involved, forget about it. It's like your whole life is upended. It's a major decision. Your family's affected, your life is affected. Half your crap is gone. So it's a little bit tougher than with just a simple breakup.
When a couple goes through a divorce, what's the process typically entail?
Someone has to file, first and foremost, someone's got to file. So you got to fill out the paperwork, file it with the court, and then you've got to serve someone, or they have to sign something saying they've gotten it. So either you have a random stranger who's hired by a service, or you have someone that you know go and hand them the paperwork, which is always awkward. Or you can tell them, hey, I'm going to divorce you and you're going to sign this document saying you've received this, which is always awkward.
So wait, they don't send a sheriff out to serve them, or?
You can't, like, some people will do that where you can get a constable, but it's not a sheriff. If there's a restraining order, you get a sheriff to do it.
Okay.
That's a whole nother.
So they sign that, then what happens?
Then they have in California, they've got 30 days to file a response. In Massachusetts, where I'm also barred, like, they can just respond. So someone has to respond to it and say, all right, yeah, I want a divorce too, and this is what I want to do. And it's a simple paperwork.
So party A agrees for the divorce, and so does party B. Does that mean that they're officially divorced and that's fun, or?
No, I wish. It'd make things a lot easier, but no, you got to go through this whole rigmarole. All right, well, what do you have? Show me your paperwork for the past. Show me your bank accounts. Show me your credit card statements. Show me everything. I want to see what your financial assets are. So you got to break it down each person, which causes problems, right? Because someone's on OnlyFans, you're seeing it in their bank account. Because unlike, Ashley Madison, they used to hide it as American Bank. OnlyFans just says straight up OnlyFans. They have no shame with their billing. So you start seeing these kind of charges and you go, all right, well.
Again, married men, they're not getting laid, so they're on OnlyFans. So that kind of explains why OnlyFans women have a job, have a career, because their wife ain't getting none, they're going to the internet to have an electronic digital relationship. Again, another beta male behavior. So, I actually feel better about this. Listen to this divorce attorney. I'm starting to realize that if you're a masculine alpha man, right, a man who only yields to God, that's what an alpha man is to me. A man who only yields to God. That's the only person you're yielding to. That is your king. Jesus, the King of Kings, Lords of Lords. That's why, you see me dressed in my Sunday best. You know what I'm saying? About to go to church. You know what I'm saying? Receive the Holy Word. And honestly, I want to see if I could learn something. Anywhere I could go, I could learn something about the Bible. I'm happy to be there, right? If I only learn one thing, I'm happy to be there, okay? So I won't be there too long, but the goal is to learn something about the Bible, because Jesus is King. He is the only one I yield to. The end, okay? But, for beta males, their God is what? Is a woman, is a her, And I think it's very ironic. I think it's very ironic that if you look at a lot of the stats about marriages, the women tend to be the one that wears the pants. They're the one that discuss it or this or leading. This is why a controlling woman, she might become married at one point, but she's also going to be divorced at another point. Because what? 50% of marriages end up in divorce, right? And a lot of people who stay probably just stay for the kids. They really don't want to be there either way. So, as a man, you got to decide what you're going to do. Because here's the thing, right? To me, the way I look at marriages, the way that, divorce courts see it, legal marriage to me is not moral marriage to me. They're not the same. Because morally, you can't get divorced, right? A covenant is, when you break a covenant, the wages to break a covenant is death. Right? If we don't understand what the idea of a covenant is, when you break a covenant, somebody gotta die. So, when you get a divorce, nobody dies. That's why I can't even take it seriously, because, this idea that just get a divorce because you feel like these legal marriages to me are nothing like biblical marriages. So the Bible, in order to appease God, I don't have to go in front of the state and get married. God, that's not going to appease God. To me, to be married, King Solomon had 700 wives. You think he went to the state anywhere? He was the king. He didn't go to no state nowhere. He just declared it. That's my wife. The end. So for me, if I say a woman my wife, she's my wife. That's my wife, that's my wife, that's my wife. And when I say that she's my wife, I'm giving her a covenant. That's the important thing. I give her the covenant that I will provide. I will die for her. But she gives me the covenant that she will submit to me. She will serve me. Right? And that what we're going to abide by is the biblical principles of marriage. We're not going to abide by what the women say, and because a lot of your friends that are encouraging you to get divorced, they're not godly women. They're not perfect wives. They're single women. Kevin Samuels was right. Single women keep women single. I'm not surprised by this whatsoever. Shout out to the Desirable Truth. I met the brother. It's funny because he stands in the exact same place in Miami. I went down there with Jack Morgan, seen him. He's a one-man band. You know, he has a cameraman set up by himself. He's just there by himself. He's a solopreneur, and I F with that because I'm a solopreneur. I do my own thumbnails. I edit my own videos. I perform on camera. I'm everybody. I set up the lighting. I set up the camera. I'm everybody. The videographer, the editor, the talent. I'm everybody, okay? And I got here all, I want to say all by myself, but I got here all on my own work. I did every job that you're supposed to do. But I was smart enough to go out there and network and build with people. That's what masculine alpha men do, okay? Don't go running behind women. That ain't going to help you. That's a distraction. And that's why I'm dropping my book very soon. Be on the lookout for it. It might come out tomorrow. I'm just saying. It might come out Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo, okay? Be attractive and shut up. Keep your mouth shut, okay? Don't run your mouth, all right? You're going to end up just like these guys that this woman's describing. And shout out to her. I wonder, do you think a divorce attorney like her can make a good wife? Or is she jaded too? Does she know all the tricks to screw you over because she's seen how a lot of women screw men over? Left to be determined. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos. And I'll see y'all over there.